Rev up your engines! Alright, today I got a little change of pace video. We're going to fix this Polaris. Well, hopefully we're going to fix it. Now it's got a problem. It revs up and it won't move, and there's noise coming from pretty much the transmission area in here. So, I did notice one thing when I sat on it. It smells like a dead animal, and I know the smell of dead animals. Because when I was a kid working at my father's gas station, late at night somebody came in and said, "Oh, my car really smells. Can you check it out tomorrow?" I said, "Sure, pull it in the bay." So they pulled it in the bay, I locked up, and I drove home on my motorcycle. And the next day I come in and my grandfather, who's the main mechanic, said, "What did you do in here?" We get the car, we put it on the left, pick it up in here. And what do we see? There was a dead cat that was wrapped on the drive shaft. It was making it wobble. Man, did it stink. And this has the same exact smell. Now, since the noise and the smell is coming from here, we'll start taking these panels apart, pull the tabs out, get that out of the way, pull the seat up. Get that out of the way. It really stinks in here, and I can see flies are coming out of here. So there's something wrong inside. Take all this apart anyways to get inside. So I'll unscrew the clamp here and then pull this off. That is an air intake that goes to the side panel where the big drive belt is. And look what I fished out here. Some kind of nest. Looks like a mouse or a rat nest. So I'm assuming they climbed into the air intake and then got stuck inside here where the giant drive belt is. Said they heard the rattling when they tried to go. I thought, well, maybe the drive belt broke. It's inside there. We're going to check it anyways. So we're going to take it apart and look inside. I'm assuming that dead animals got in there and they got in on a clutch assembly, and that's why it wouldn't move. It was all jammed up in there and making it not work. Coming to help. Here they come. They don't have opposable thumbs though, so they're kind of useless at fixing things. So we'll take some more of this off. Get these other panels out of the way. Throw them over there. And we'll unscrew this bit of ductwork. And we'll pull that out of the way. That's got an intake. And look at that. Look at all the crap that's in there. Oh my God, look at it. It's an amalgamation of dead stuff. Can't tell what it is, but man, does it stink. Put some Lysol in there. Won't smell as much. See here, both of these intakes here and here are wide open. And this Polaris Sportsman ATV lives on 64 acres out in the country. Animals have gotten in. So what I'm going to have to do is, when I'm done, I'm going to get some fiberglass screening, and I'm going to use Gorilla Tape, and then it'll have a screen so they can't climb in anymore. Now, unfortunately, all this crap's in the way too, so we got to take all this off so we can access it. So it's one of these stupid plastic clips. I hate them. Half the time they break and you gotta put another one in. They're just a pain in the butt. Luckily I have every tool known to man. In this case, it's a 27T torque, so it'll fit on here and take it off. They need to make up their mind what fasteners to use. The bottom are even a bigger pain because not only do they have the torques, they also have an 11mm nut on the bottom, so you got to get that too to get them off. Otherwise they'll spin and go nowhere. We got to get all this plastic crap out of the way. Oh, they got snaps on the inside too. Bunch of idiots design these things. This is all plastic junk. Finally, that's broken loose. Swivels out. There goes the stupid plastic pile of crap. Let's take it apart and see what's inside. They come out pretty simple, you can see. And now comes the mystery. See if there's anything else in there. He couldn't have done all that damage, but he's eating the dead crap that's in here. No, this is the engine crank. This is the belt that drives it. It has a type of CVT transmission. And that's okay. It's just a bunch of crap got stuck in there. Now this belt's the original belt, so we might as well change it. They wear over time, and this is a more modern one. So instead of having to use tools, you just grab the belts with your bare hands and squeeze it in. As you squeeze it in, it locks this loose, and then the belt will just slide off. Now you can see that belt popped off. You can see there's quite a bit of wear on it, because check the new one out. The new one's a lot taller. It needed replacing anyway, so the mice or rats or whatever it was, they just made the job a little bit faster. And putting it back on, you want to clean the area. You want to make sure the main areas are free of any kind of debris, rubber pieces. Now, use rubbing alcohol like I do. Don't use brake cleaner or anything like that. It's not made for that. Rubbing alcohol is perfect. You just put some on your rag and wipe everything clean. Now this is the newer design, has automatic tensioner. I like the old ones better. They had manual ones you could do manually tighten the butt. This is automatic. You had to deal with the crap that they sell you. This is where my design is often crap. Yeah, it's automatic, and it automatically becomes a pain in the butt. The old one had manual wrenches. You'd loosen it up, get them on, tighten them up. This is automatic, and of course, it automatically doesn't work as well. Well, what do you know? I got it on by turning it in the opposite direction. Well, at least it's on. Now, since it has an automatic tensioner, you can see it's pretty loose now. What you got to do is, you got to turn this a bunch of times so it'll catch and tighten itself up. It's getting tighter now. They say 5, 10 turns around. Now it's nice and tight. The mice did us a favor. You can see the teeth are getting kind of flat on the inside and worn anyway. What the heck? I forget, I got some fiberglass screen in here, and I'm going to cover up those intakes with this so bugs and mice and rats or whatever the heck got in there can't get in there anymore. Now, I love Gorilla Tape because it holds on really well. So, to cut a section out, we're going to cover this up and Gorilla Tape it over. You don't want to block the hole, of course. You want to keep the hole open, and you want to tape around the rest. You do one tape first, and now you can see it's got the opening covered pretty good with the hole so air will come in. Gorilla Tape's pretty strong, but we're going to put another one around it too. Now I'll wrap it the rest of the way around to make sure it won't come off. Hopefully the mice won't bite through it. If they do, we'll have to use steel next time. Like steel, they generally see a hole, they'll climb in. There's no hole, they won't climb in. Then we'll do the same thing on the other intake. Now you can see the air can get in, but the stupid mice hopefully won't. Now before we bolt the cover on, I think there's still a bunch of little pieces in there. So get my air compressor out. Now we can wiggle it around, get it back in. Of course, you know, the fender's in the way, so we got to kind of wiggle it one way, pull on the fender. I'm not taking all that crap apart. There we go. All right, it's back in its hole, and we can bolt it back in. 10mm ones on first. Pretty easy job once you get this stuff done. Then we'll put the air ducts back on. One goes on the front, one goes on the back. And you know one of the clamps would disappear, right? You just know one of the clamps would disappear while you're working. Isn't that always the case? Well, you know, the dogs were chewing on it. That back on. Put this in its place. That goes in there. Easier said than done. So I hate plastic crap. It's always such a pain in the butt to put them on. Since this is such a pain to get on, we'll put this on first. So we don't have to deal with wiggling this while it's going on. This will already be on the duct. Now we should be able to get it on easier. See? If there's a will, there's a way. That'll go on now. This goes on here. Of course, you know, the rubber's so cheap, it barely fits on. They could have made it a little bit thicker. You got it on. What a pain. All this plastic stuff is just junk as far as I'm concerned. But of course, it's cheaper to make them that way. So we'll get these nice and tight now. They don't fall off the next time we move them. Since they're so hard to get to, we'll put the rubber part on the duct first. Then this will slip over. We'll loosen it more to get some more leeway. Now you can see inside the fender here. Easy to tighten it up. It's easier to get it on that way. Now before I put all the plastic crap on, let's start it up. Make sure it works. I'd have to take that all apart again. Sounds good. Put it in gear. There we go. No rattling, no clunking. Hey, success. Now I guess we can swear at the mice, but really, this belt's getting kind of hard. They get brittle as they age. It's glazed. Hey, been in there for like 3-4 years. So, what the heck. Now you can see how easy it is to change them. And if you're going out in the woods or something, my advice is buy a spare one. Throw it in the back. Even use the old one as an emergency one. What the heck. It still ran it. The reason it didn't run was because all the mouse junk and pieces got stuck in the clutch and got it all gooey. I drove it in here once I took that crap off, but it's got a new belt on it now. You can keep it as a spare. That's what I do with my old fan belts for my cars. I stick them in the trunk, so if I'm on a highway and something hits it and it breaks, I'll have a spare lying around. Now this baby does have one of these CVT type transmissions. Made horrible noises, would barely move. I thought, oh man, if that CVT transmission is shot, that would be a small fortune, right? But especially since this is a 4-wheel drive system. All it was something got in there and new belt in anyways. Now you know. These little air intakes here, put a little cover of them so the mice don't get in if you store it out in the country. And you won't have to deal with this disgusting stench and mess. If only you two bet smell, you'd know what I'm talking about. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Kevin Corsack said, Scotty, my 2017 VW GTI needs a recall done. I'm afraid to take it to the dealer because I fear they might sabotage my car somehow to make money. Is that a possibility? Well, of course it's a possibility. I see that kind of stuff happen all the time. Now, any reputable Volkswagen mechanic who has a good shop, he can do that stuff. He can fix it, and they can reimburse you for it. If you don't trust the dealer, and I don't blame you, especially Volkswagen dealers. And when I was in Houston, the Volkswagen dealers were the biggest crooks in town. They didn't care. Their philosophy was, you're driving an expensive European car, and if you don't want to pay for the repairs, too bad. Somebody else will. So find somebody else who's qualified to do it, and they can get Volkswagen to pay for it. The law can't be that you have to take it somewhere to get it fixed. They can't make laws like that. They tried, but they actually failed. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.